broadcast. We are live, coast to coast. We are live on iHeartRadio today and also AMFM247.com. And, of course, 50-plus AM/FM stations across the country and around the world. And we have a tremendous guest who is joining us live as live can get on our fantastic phone line. Frank Foster is with us. Frank, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
Hey, brother, I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Pretty good, actually. Now, Frank is going to be part of a huge show coming up February 19th, the Temple Live. You can get more information and tickets, templelive.com. Doors at 7, show at 8, and it is Frank Foster. And tickets are just going fast. Crawford and Power also on this bill. This is going to be a fantastic night of just good old country music. Frank, talk to me a little bit about this this show that you're going to be doing on February 19th.
Yeah, man, like you said, going to be a big one. Got another independent act out in front of us, Crawford and Power. For the folks out there that don't know, I've been running an independent game for 10 years now, running up down the road.
Yep.
And it's been great. And, yeah, like you said, man, just trying to bring some good old country music to the fans in Kansas. Been to Kansas a time or two, never to Wichita, man, so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, you have been all over the place. How has people taken to your music so far in this new year?
It's been good, man. We put our 9th studio album out here in the fall of last year, so that's the record we're touring on this year, man. And it's just been, just like all the rest of them, man, it's been well received, man. We've been under the radar for a long time, but I tell people it's barely under the radar. So it's been real good, man. The music game has been good to me. We've got some great loyal fans. It's always been a grassroots thing, man, and we just love bringing it to the folks.
We've got Frank Foster with us today, and he joins us. He's going to be part of a big show at Temple Live February 19th. This is going to be a humongous night of country music. You've been to Kansas. You've never played Wichita. Are you excited to get down there to the air capital?
Yeah, man, I'm excited about Wichita. And to be honest, these Temple Live places, I've heard nothing but great things. So we're excited about playing those rooms, man. We're actually, the night before, we're in Fort Smith, Arkansas, at a Temple Live as well. So it's going to be a Temple Live weekend for us, and we're looking forward to seeing those places.
Frank Foster with us today. His musical journey started in 2011 with the release of his first album, Rowdy Reputation. Tell us about getting this first album put together and getting it out there and just starting that music career.
Well, I was just like anybody else, James. I moved to town to get me a big old record deal and become the next George Strait, but I soon found out that wasn't easy as they said it was. So instead of taking the traditional route, man, I just found me a buddy that had a studio in an old garage, and I had some songs, man, and that's how we kicked it off. I started putting records out. And instead of knocking on doors on Music Row, man, I just took my music to the people all over the Southeast, and then became the Southwest. Now the Midwest, we're all over the country, man. It's been a crazy journey, man.
Frank Foster joins us today here on our broadcast. And Frank, you have just had a lot of great success. You've done it all basically independently. What does that feel like, making your own way, my friend?
It feels good. At the end of the day, man, I left my job before music because I had a boss. You know what I mean? So I wanted to get in the music game. I didn't want to be famous per se. I just wanted to make a living playing the kind of music that I wanted to play. And luckily, man, it caught fire, like you said, back in 2011, 2012, and it's just been a slow growth, but man, it's been a great growth. Like you said, I've been running up down the road with basically no help for 10 or 12 years now, and that's unheard of in our business. So it's a testament to the fans, and a testament to folks out there looking for an alternative to what they hear every single day, and we can be that. So I enjoy it.
Recently I was on a trip, and I turned on country radio, and I was listening to this, and I'm like, am I on the right station? What the hell happened to country music, Frank?
I don't know, man. Here's the thing, man. I I used to be mad about it, but then I realized about 5 or 6 years into my career, I was like, you know what? This lane over here that I've jumped in and clogged up on my own wouldn't be here if, modern country radio wasn't so crazy. People are looking for something else, and I think that has been a big reason why my career has been the way it was, because I'm an alternative to what you're hearing every day. So I'm no longer mad at them. The goofier it gets, the more money I make on my side. I'm good.
Well, I worked at a classic country station like 10 years ago, and that's country radio. Now this stuff that I'm seeing and hearing, it's like, I don't know how we got to this point. I'm so glad that you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, man, it's gotten pretty rough, man. And the thing is, back in 2011 when I first come out, it was going that way, and I thought it would weave that way a little bit and come back, but it's just kept going. But luckily, here in the last year or so, we've got a few guys that are trying to bring it back, and everything comes in waves. So I hope it comes back to a point, but I don't think, James, we'll ever see the era like you talking about. If you worked at a classic country radio 10 years ago, you're playing Haggard and Waylon and Hank Jr. and Conway and the people that mattered. I think that's the golden era of country music, and I don't think we'll ever see that again, because there's the powers that be aren't going to allow that anymore. They think the pop route's the way to go. We know better, but that's what they think. So
Frank Foster joins us today. He is going to be part of a huge show February 19th at the Temple Live in Wichita, Kansas. Doors at 7, show at 8. It is going to be an amazing weekend of music. So, Frank, you've got a date the night before ironically, at another Temple Live. and then you're going to be going to the Wichita version. You've got Crawford and Power with you. What are folks saying about your kind of country music when you go out and do these tours and play live, as opposed to the stuff they're hearing on the radio?
Man, it's just people are refreshed, and that's why when we gain a fan, whether we gained a fan last month or whether we gained a fan in 2013, they jump on the train, man, and they ride for it because they love it, and they know that we're going to put a record out every year, and they know what to expect. It's going to be, straight down the middle Southern rock and roll or straight down the middle country music. We don't deviate from that. I think that, like I said before, we're a nice, refreshing alternative for people who are longing for, something that sounds, a little bit more like Skinner than it does Madonna. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's we lean toward the Skinner and the Waylons and the Bo Sivas type stuff, and I'm not just spitting those names out because they're cliche. That's really what we do, and it's all original. And I think people have grown to appreciate that. We've put out 90-something songs on 9 albums, and I've written every single word to every song. And so, good, bad, or indifferent, it's honest and it's true to who I am.
Well, that's another thing you brought up that I just can't understand about modern music either, is that it seems like none of these people write their own stuff. And you write everything that you do.
It's either nobody writes their own stuff, or you'll look on a song that's a big smash hit on country radio, and there's 17 writers on one song. It's like, what? How did it take that much? I don't understand that. I was lucky enough that my dad was seasoned, and he loved his country music, and I had some uncles and my older brother. They loved their country and their Southern rock and roll, and I grew up on the kind of music where the guy singing it 9 times out of 10 put the pen to it, and I just think that that's the way it ought to be. There's a lot of good people that made a living being great karaoke singers, but I don't look at it that way.
Well, the thing I find so strange is that, like I said, I listen to country radio, and I don't really hear a lot of country music. You are doing some amazing things. I was talking to a promoter the other day, and they were asking me about, we're just not a country venue. I don't know if we could do country and make it work. And I brought your name up, and I said another person that you ought to book is Travis Tritt.
Dude, yeah, absolutely, man. We did, I think, 3 or 4 shows with
Yes,
Travis Tritt last year, where we would open. Obviously, he would close. Man, you talk about. No, that's a home run, man. I mean, Travis Tritt, the resurgence that he's had, and well deserved. He had all those great hits in the '90s and early 2000s, and then he put out an album here just a year or so back called "Set in Stone" that Dave Cobb produced, and it's unbelievable. We love going out with Travis, man. He can still get after it too, man. God Almighty, he's good.
See, this is the thing, man. People still want to hear good country music.
They do, yep. And the thing is, and another thing about the pop country or whatever you want to call it these days, obviously it's working. They're selling out arenas doing it, but there's still those people on the other side of the fence that don't want to hear that. So, there's just not a lot of avenues for guys like me or Travis Tritt anymore. So you just got to go out there and bring it to the people and whip them over the head with it and have them tell somebody else about it. And that's how we built our thing, man. Was word of mouth. So social media helps, but you just got to get out there and bring music to people, man, and have them go back to work and tell their buddies, man, you should have seen that Frank Foster show last night. That's how it works.
Well, and this is another thing. We're speaking with Frank Foster today. He's going to be part of a big show February 19th at Temple Live. You play a lot of venues, and sometimes I've noticed this about not just one venue, but a lot of venues. You are so over with people that they add a second night. And they have you come back a second night. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, we've done that a time or two, man. There's been markets that we've grown over the years where it went to, we go play a 600 cap club the first time and only sell 200 tickets, and the next time we come back, we have to do 3 nights in a row. And that's a great feeling, man. Down in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, man, we did that, several years ago, and it's to the point where we play a 3,000 seater down there now, but that's how we built it down there, and same thing, man. We was, they didn't expect much out of us in playing in Nashville, Tennessee, and the Exit Inn in Nashville is another place that we did that for 2 years in a row. We played it 2 nights in a row and sold it out both nights. So it's been an incredible journey, man, and it's a roller coaster, and sometimes I'm like, oh, man, I should have signed that record deal 4 or 5 years ago when I had the chance. But, man, 90% of the time I'm happy with my decision because I wake up every day, and if I want to go to Wichita, Kansas to play a show, I will. And if I don't, I won't because I don't have anybody telling me what to do. And that's the greatest thing about doing what we do.
Well, you have a lot of success, I notice, in the South. Mobile, Alabama, a lot of these different places. You're selling out major buildings. Why do you think people are so attracted to your stuff, my friend?
I don't know, man. I think some of it's nostalgia. We have our fan base. Now, don't get me wrong. We have kids that show up at our shows, but we also got 65, 70-year-old guys out there pumping their fists, And I think some of it is a nostalgia thing. They're like, man, this sounds like what was going on when I was riding around in my 78 Camaro, when I was in high school or whatever. And I think a lot of it's that. I think a lot of it is just, when people, come to a show and hear a song and do a little bit of research and they find out how rooted and true everything is. Like I said, good, bad, or indifferent, whether you like it or not. It's me, and it's not polished, and, there's not 15 suits and ties telling me which direction to go and what to wear and what to say. So I think a lot of it's just that. It's unfiltered, and people are tired of all the junk, I think.
I noticed going through your Twitter, you're a huge huge Karl Malone mark.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. The mailman, baby.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna tell you something about the mailman. This is I have his number in my telephone.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, not because of any other reason, but this right here, and this may blow your mind, but I grew up in a very, very small rural place in North Louisiana.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I could hop on my bicycle, and in about 15 minutes, I could ride up an old country road, and I could be at Karl Malone's mother's house. She owned a.
Wow.
When he got to the NBA, he bought her a little country store that she could run to give her something to do every day. And so, long story short, Karl Malone and my dad grew up about 3 or 4 miles from each other. And when Karl left to go to the NBA and become a superstar, none of the rest of his family ever left. So his mom was there until the day that she passed away, and his mom and my mom were the best of friends, man. So I can, Karl Malone's mom has cooked me 1,000,000 hamburgers right there in that little place where we come from before she passed away. Yeah, and another little known fact for folks out there to listen, if you want to go and check some stuff out, I've got a video that I done several years back called Southern Man, and that video was actually shot on some property of Karl Malone's in Louisiana. So yeah, man, we good buddies. And if you want to see the mailman, what he still looks like, by the way, he still looks like he can play ball.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We shot.
Yeah, he still looks like he can play ball. He still looks like he could tag up with DDP and go against Hogan and Rodman again. He could do the whole thing, brother.
That's right, man. We shot a video last year too on a video called "Have a Few More," and he's actually in that video. So,
that's awesome.
And that was just last year, and he still looks incredible. So.
That's amazing. That is a fantastic story. A great Karl Malone story, man.
Yeah,
Frank Foster with us today. He is going to be part of a big show February 19th at Temple Live in the great air capital of Wichita, Kansas. And doors at 7, show at 8. This is going to be a huge event. TempleLive.com if you want to get your tickets. And they are going fast because much like the rest of the country, people want to hear real country music, and Frank Foster is filling that void.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So, Frank, before we let you go, how active are you on social media? Because I notice Twitter and Instagram, you do all this stuff. It's you. You don't have somebody hired doing it for you.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's me on there. I actually probably last year, I just stopped going on my Twitter for my own sanity.
Yes.
And you understand that.
Yes, but very much so.
Instagram and Facebook, I'm really active, man. So we're always on there, either promoting shows or showing you how we live our day-to-day life. I'm posting hunting pictures on there and stuff like that. So. Yeah, man, Instagram and Facebook, we're wide open on there.
Well, that is amazing. I will have to say that I'm looking forward to seeing you on February 19th. Good luck with the shows this weekend. Temple Live in Wichita, February 19th. TempleLive.com for your tickets. And thanks for doing this, brother. Thanks for spending as much time with us as you did. I know that you're very busy and you got a lot of ground to cover, but thanks for making time for us, man.
Hey, man, look, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you having us on and keeping our name out in the air out there, man. Come see us now.
Definitely. I will see you Saturday. Thank you, my friend. Have yourself a wonderful day. There he goes. That is Frank Foster, the amazing Frank Foster. And we are going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we have got more coming up. It is your world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast. Check out TempleLive.com for tickets, and we will see you next time.